the agency, a group in the covert world, was assigned a mission in December. We want to do something to convince Putin to back down. And we're yipping and yelling by the president. Wasn't doing it. He was building up the forces. And so the term of art I use is important because anybody on the inside knows I know something. The words used were the group assembled, NSA, CIA, not the FBI, I don't think, Treasury Department, State Department, all the people who could contribute either funding or what you will. They started meeting in a secret room in a building across the executive office building, which is on the White House grounds, but it's separate. It's where they hide most of the executive offices are there. They started meeting, and the question being asked of the White House through intermediaries, this is the president, do you want something reversible like sanctions or something irreversible? And the word came back, irreversible. That means kinetic. So the option was, of course, take out the pipelines. Why not? Threaten to. Because since the Kennedy days, there's been a lot of worry as the Cold War went on and we had this crazy notion of containment. We could contain communism. In the Kennedy days, even the Kennedy days on, Russia's ability to feed gas at a cheap price to Europe was bothersome because gave Russia what you could call, what this White House did call weaponizing gas. That's what they were worried about. Russia was using weaponizing gas. And the fear was we have to hold Germany and NATO, who get a lot. They have no natural resources there in Western Europe. And they were being supplied for a dozen since 2011, when the first pipeline, Nordstream, there's two pipelines. The first one was built, began pumping an enormous amount of gas at an incredibly cheap price, building up the German engine. You know, the largest chemical company in the world, BASF, is there. And we have all those automobiles, the fancy cars that we all love in America. The world loves it, Mercedes, et cetera. And so what to do about that? That was always a problem. So the war starts, and we're pushing, NATO's involved, we're pushing Western Europe, and the Germans, we want more tanks, planes, guns, et cetera. And at some point, and so the idea was, give them this option, but once the war started, the people in the field, and they went to Norway because the Norwegian sailors, I actually published a piece today about Norway's role in Vietnam. Norway had a huge role in building up the Vietnam attacks we made against the North before the war was even declared.
And then Norway and the U.S. always have had a close relationship. They were the first one to join NATO in '49, and it's very close. And they have
very close,
high-level Navy and underwater crews as well.
Well, and also don't forget they have 1,400 miles of ocean, all the way. Norway goes 1,400 miles from European Oslo, all the way up to the Arctic Circle, where they run into Russia.
Right.
And so we have built in the last decade. We have put up the most advanced synthetic aperture radar. They cost hundreds of millions, if not more, radar to monitor the Russian nuclear weapons fields across the mountains in Russia, northern Russia, Kola Peninsula. Really cold up there. Anyway, and so we built bases. We've added to their Air Force. We work closely with their Navy, and of course, we worked very closely with them in the early stages of the Vietnam War. We were running Navy SEAL teams and operations long before the war began. I mean, we were working against the North and doing a lot of aggressive stuff that wasn't long before anybody in America knew much about the war that Kennedy has sort of pushed to. Anyway, that's all ancient history. It's a place that fits because they keep their mouth shut.
Right.
And I was unfair to them. In the story I wrote, I said they made profit. They did make a good profit because the price of gas has gone up, but the amount of gas they ship to Western Europe has only risen about 3-4% since this the pipeline was shut down. The price of gas, though, has made their profit doubled. So the price right now, even though it's been a warm winter, people are paying. It's 3 to 4 times as much in Italy, 5 times as much in France for electricity, and power plants are generated by oil, and so the price is going up, and so anyway, so these guys are watching this, the guys that did it, I mean, and they do, as I say, they take the oath of office to the Constitution, not to the president and not to their commanding officer. These are tough guys. They like to do stuff that makes sense to them. So they did plant the bombs. They were ready to go. They could go at any time, but Biden said no. They initially got it done in June. He said no then. And then by July, August, with the war on, they thought it's okay. Late September, he orders the hit. They do it.
My name is Jim Rickards. I'm a former advisor to the CIA, Department of Defense, and the White House. In a moment, you'll have my own evidence that very few people have seen. You'll see how I believe two acts of democratic stupidity are about to combine into a storm that will change America forever, the American Energy Armageddon. In fact, due to specific circumstances created by the Armageddon, it's possible you could now win big while others lose. You see, there's a universal truth. In times of crisis, money moves. During the coming energy Armageddon, most Americans will face new hardships, but not all. A few will win and win big. You're about to see how the energy Armageddon could create a one-time opportunity to secure new substantial wealth. If you want in, keep watching. Right now, today, America is running out of gas, diesel, and oil. Our national fuel reserves are down 50% or more from where they should be. It's so urgent, major suppliers are calling it a code red emergency. We don't have the refining capacity to catch up, and we're shipping most of what we have to Europe to bail them out of Calamity Joe's Nordstream crisis. We're now facing catastrophic fuel shortages I predict will collapse our nation's energy grid. When it happens, every citizen will see firsthand the Dems' obsession with green energy is a scam. In fact, I'm going to show you my evidence that outs them as shameless hypocrites. That's not all. I predict this storm will bring about a new social order to our country. Many who are now rich will find their accounts drained, and those who are poor will turn to desperate measures to survive. I'm talking about civil unrest, a massive crime wave, and violence in our streets. Most will suffer under Biden's energy Armageddon, but not everyone. Some good Americans will win. They'll take advantage of wealth-building opportunities created by the upheaval, which I'll reveal here today, to vastly improve their personal economic situation. And that's the most important thing I want to share with you. Now, if the idea of winning while others suffer makes you uncomfortable, no problem. Then this presentation is not for you. But the way I see it, our great nation was built during times of crisis when a few smart people recognized opportunity and seized it. If you see the storm coming, if you know Calamity Joe and his ilk are steering us straight into it, and you want to not just survive, but thrive by using the crisis potentially to grow your personal wealth, then you're exactly who I want to reach today. Give me about 3 minutes of your time. I'm going to show you everything right now.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.